Alright, so here's a step response calculation with a proportional control. So what this is a good exercise for is understanding how the relationship happens between Kp, Ki, and Kd. For instance, you can see how the curve is right now. And if I increase Kp, I get a little bit of an overshot, but not too much, so I have wiggle room there for the proportion. If I put that back, look what happens if I cut the derivative in half. I get the same kind of response. So you can start seeing the relationship going on. But check this out. If I go the other way, originally that was 100, right? So if I go to 200, you see this line gets closer to the 0 side. Yeah, so what's realistic? It's probably not realistic like that. Yeah, if I go too small, you get the fluctuation in the signal. And this is probably more of a realistic response in the real world. But I find it interesting to teach as far as how the P and PID work together. Of course, it wouldn't matter too much unless you have a real system, and then you can see what's going on. Yeah, let's see if we can get a little bit of overshoot and then having it come back in. So that would be decent there. And then, yeah, that's probably a little too much. So stay closer to 1,000. If I was going with a speed of 1, right? So if I bump this up for the R, let's see if I'm reading this right. Yeah, so if I put the R in there, then it cuts it short. Which makes me think if we go 0.5, then you should go over. Which you do. Which I'm not sure how that works out in the calculation. But we're still off there. So if I go back to 100 here, and check out what happens with the interval if I slow it down. Let's just go to a 1, 0 to a 1. And it steps a little bit below. If I go to a 0, it gets right on the line. So if I start doing, I don't know, let's go to 0.5 or 2.5 or something like that. It goes back down below. Interesting. So proportional integral and derivative. Most of the time we don't even use a derivative, depending on what kind of loop it is. And obviously if I get too high on proportional at all, it's gonna keep just, it won't go any higher. It's balanced like that. So let's see. Yeah, so that made it closer. Anyway, you can sit here and play with P and I all night. I like that for a startup, but who knows? It's just an interesting perspective.